I did today, the Dennis Sperling show, and I wanted to just, I know that people are going to watch this before people know that I was going live. So if you're just tuning into the YouTube video, I was on the Dennis Sperling show, Spurling, Dennis Sperling. I did his show today, and it was such an invigorating conversation because it all goes back to the focus of what we're doing and why we're doing it. Talking to Dennis was this eye-opening experience because I'm talking to a man who's a lawyer in Houston, Texas, on his show called the Dennis Sperling Show. And I was on with him for 2.5 hours today. And I got to, for the first time since I left TikTok, I got to talk to a predominantly black audience. And I am super grateful that I got to the opportunity to go on, hey, how you guys doing? How's everybody doing? I might need some water. Sorry. So, but I was able to talk to a predominantly black audience. How's everybody doing this afternoon? It's good to see everybody. Thanks for coming by. I'm glad you guys are here. If it's your first time on my channel, we're gonna talk about something. I'm gonna explain something today that I kind of touched on yesterday with the social contract and how we are willingly governed. Now, there's two gigantic. I'm gonna have to get some water. Give me 1 second, guys. Let me grab a glass of water. Sorry, guys. How's everybody doing? So there's a distinct difference between Thomas Hobbes' social contract and Jean-Jacques Rousseau's social contract. There's a distinct difference between the two different philosophers' thinkings. And Hobbes was a guy who believed that we would be best ruled by a monarchy, by absolute rule. And if you violated the social contract, that you would be put to death. If you broke the law, that you would die. I mean, we're talking about a pretty rough idea of the social contract. So, but then what Jean-Jacques Rousseau said was that we would be best if the social contract was led by a democracy, and that democracy should be small. It should be a small democracy. And how you guys doing? Good to see everybody. And so I just wanted to talk about, so now when we get to understanding that we didn't subscribe to Thomas Hobbes' social contract, that we should be led by a monarch, we should not, right? We chose a democratic federalist to have a constitutional Bill of Rights standard of a democracy through representation, through Republican meaning a representative. So we chose that, and in return for those listed rights and privileges that we get by being a citizen of America, you're going to provide these basic things for us, so that security and a country that provides food, shelter, warmth, the basics, right? But then here's where it has gone just horrifically wrong. It's gone horrifically wrong when we have appointed men to power it for an indefinite amount of time and given them absolute power over us through our Bill of Rights. That is how we've lost our power. That's how you and I have lost our power. Our voice, for us to have strength, is done through what did I just say? A democratic federalist or a democratic republic. That's how we have a voice to vote. That we're supposed to have a voice to vote. right? And it has been completely and utterly taken away from us by an unelected Supreme Court. And that's what everybody has got to not ever take their eye off the ball. At the end of the day, the next generation, because you and I probably won't be around to see it. I mean, I hope we can do it in 20 or 30 years, but I just don't think so. I think it's going to take 50 years. People to pull up this video and go, man, you know, this guy talked in 2022 about electing the Supreme Court and breaking them up and having them voted in by the people. And every year they're up for impeachment where they didn't defend our civil liberties properly. And we impeach that justice because it's a localized area of people. The 6 different districts elects 9 different judges so that we can have justices that we can respect. And every year they're up for impeachment. Every year they're up for impeachment and for how they defended our rights. So the next generation I'm talking to who's going to get the Supreme Court electable, right? Our generations, Gen Z, Gen X, boomers, we have to see Terry versus Ohio fall. It has to go down in our lifetimes. Terry has to fall because Terry creates a cascade effect of multiple Supreme Court holdings that completely and utterly decimate a free society. This is nice, this is pretty. I can't walk down the street without a copy and suspicious of me and wanting to, and the other day I tore that copy, you know, a new one, and then yesterday you saw that when I said, when you're not investigating me, I'm not so harsh, right? Because he shouldn't have the right to walk up and investigate me. He should have been able to walk up to the scene, look around and go, trespassed. He should have walked over to me and said, that security guard just wanted to trespass you. But you know what, dude? All I see is you sitting here drinking a cup of coffee. Did you have a personal falling out with her? Yeah, she walked up and asked me what I was, you know, dude, that conversation, do you know what I mean? Like that conversation where the cop is going to go, man, you have every right to be here. I don't know what she's being upset with you about. You just told her you didn't want to tell her what you were doing. We have to we have to watch Terry tumble. If we don't overturn Terry, if we do not overturn Terry in our lifetimes, we failed the children. We failed the next generation. We failed them. If you and I don't see it through, it is the most important mission of your entire life, of my entire life. If you actually love freedom and love America and actually want people to be free in the United States, Terry versus Ohio has to go down. It has to end. We have to be there. We have to watch it. We have to celebrate and applaud when it happens. It has to go down. That it has to be the mantra. You have to infect people talking about Terry versus Ohio. You have to infect people. You have to infect them and say, dude, there's a law called Terry it's not even a law, it's policy from the Supreme Court. All police policy is set up around Terry. Every single bit of police procedure, police policy, every bit of it that you hate and I hate, and we can't respect these guys because there's no third-party organization over the top of them. As long as there's no third-party organization over the top of cops, with absolute power, it'll never work. We have to create the Montesquieu agency that oversees policing in every single way. I got to do Dennis shows today. I got to do Dennis Sperling's show today. That was great. You guys, people who subscribe to this channel, I want you to go to Dennis Sperling and subscribe to his channel. Dennis Sperling, Dennis Sperling talks mostly to black people. So a lot of black people came over and subscribed to his channel. Thanks for coming, you guys. Infect your community. It's Terry versus Ohio. It's a 1968 Supreme Court holding. Infect your community. Infect it. What's up, cousin? So you know, it has to be. It's until this is the national conversation for freedom. Until this is the national conversation for freedom, you can forget it. You think the Patriot Act is bad? The Patriot Act is horrifically bad. The cops can grab you and detain. Right? We're living the Patriot Act. It's every second of every day of every minute. Every time. every time. Anyway, I got to do Dennis's show, and I talked to a predominantly black audience, which I thought was kind of, you know, cool. You know, I thought that was cool. I thought that was a good experience, you know, because I know that I wanted, yes, Terry versus Ohio has to go. It has to go down. Terry versus Ohio has to go down. And that's what I was just having OCD about it when I was talking to my cousin. And so I was like, you know what? I just have to explain that we subscribe to a social contract. We agree to a social contract. You and I agree to live by laws and be good citizens and follow the rules. I'm law and order. If you didn't know that, 100% I am for law and order. I'm for a society based on rule of law, 100%, where there's the rule of law, but this enforcement of these laws is bad. The enforcement of the laws that are bad is bad. I can't remember the philosopher who I read who said, when you are being bad, you are bad. Which philosopher was that? You guys can look it up. The audience is smarter than I am, I guarantee it. You know, you guys pull it up. When you are being bad, you are bad. Look it up. There's a philosopher who said it. I read it. When you're being good, you are good. It's that simple. It's yes or no. Are you being good or are you being bad? That's it. And if you're being bad, then you are bad. The cop who attacked that doctor, I can't get it out of my head, to be honest with you, because I had to edit that together and watch it. I can't get it out of my head. That doctor, that the dog, you know, chewing on that guy's leg. I can't get it out of my head. And what I can't get out of my head also is how absolutely just like, you know, boisterous. I think when you watch that video back, the cop later is walking around with his hands, you know, behind his back, kind of just trotting around. And I'm like, you know, what do you feel so good about, brother? You know, if I were you and I had just watched my dog, who I didn't release, attack a man who was on his knees, I probably wouldn't be like bebopping around. I probably wouldn't be like bebopping around, bro. I'd be disappointed in myself for, number one, my dog releasing without me releasing the dog. Was that dog retired? I wonder about that. Was that dog retired? We should call York, Maine, and we should ask if that dog was retired. We should set that up. We should set it up. Anybody watching this, you know, let's do it. Let's do it right now. Drop down that York, Maine in the comments. You guys will see it. If you guys drop it in the chat box. How's everybody doing? I'm so sorry. I just was on a roll, and I just wanted to. How's everybody doing? Tim, what's going on? Tim, how you doing, brother? He has a remote door opener for a dog. Yeah, you know, I think so, bootlicker. I think ex bootlicker. 100%. I think we should, you know, drop down that number. I don't care about the settlement. What I care about is that's still going on. We should call there. We should call over to that police station and find out if that dog is still, because the dog did just attack Assembly Bill. A1, it's been debunked, Chief. I'm reading A146. Yeah, it's not. They've been trying to put a bill like that through for like 10 years. It's never gone through, and it hasn't gone through yet. I did. Yeah, I heard of it, Chief. I heard of it. But what's going on, guys? How you guys doing? So, I was talking about. I'm so sorry, because there's people watching this YouTube video later, and they tell me don't get off topic. But then I start answering questions on here because I want to interact with the people who are here. So it's like, you know, it's no fault of the dogs, is what someone just said, but is what Michelle said, and so. But the thing is that the dog is trained. It's not fit for duty. That doesn't mean it can't be a dog. The dog should just be able to be a dog without attacking people. You know, that dog should be relieved from duty because. Thank you, Jim. I appreciate it. But the dog should be relieved from duty because we all saw the dog just attack. We all saw that dog just attack. So, but that's you know, that's kind of what got me fired up, and the reason why I came was because it's like, you know, as I'm reading more and more, and I'm always just, and then I went and I did Dennis's show today, and that kind of reinvigorated my mind to where I was, having to be clear that we have to stay jointly focused on overturning Terry. Because I know I go on rants about, you know, education and social contract, and I just qualified immunity there for a minute, but now I want you guys to, you know, change your mind and go back to you know, not change your mind, but, you know, reinvigorate your mantra and your code, and what you should be actually sharing with other people is that the tip of the spear of the government intruding in our lives is Terry versus Ohio. I know why I got so incensed. I think I printed out all those people's faces who have been killed because of Terry versus Ohio for Dennis's show today. And I went and printed out all these people who died from Terry versus Ohio. And I did a whole display to try to educate the black community, because his viewership's all black. And so I wanted to display that all these people have died because of Terry. Every big name you've heard of, you know. His name is Dennis Sperling. You guys go over and subscribe to Dennis and tell him I sent you. And hey, good to see everybody here. Hey, I try not to look at I try to just stay focused on the lecture, but good to see everybody. Yeah, Dennis Sperling. Make sure you guys go. Yeah, can you drop a link down there, Dr. Barry, for Dennis Sperling's YouTube page? Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate it. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So it's like, if you guys haven't seen, you know, I'm just going to re-release these videos. The Terry video that I make, that's the in-depth analysis of Terry versus Ohio. I'm just going to re-release them is what I'm going to do. I'm going to re-release them because I want you guys to truly understand. And you know what? I'll just make another one. And I'll explain it, because now, obviously, as I've been just doing this for a year straight, just this, now I probably have even more of a different perspective after I've broken down all of the oral arguments and broken down all the case text and everything I can get out of it. Now I'm gonna break it down further for you guys. Terry versus Ohio has to go, and that's the first step in getting our rights back. It's this. Overturn Terry. You have to talk to your friends, your family. You have to spread the message like it's wildfire. Hey, Michelle, what's going on? And then I got a little bit into the social contract, because when I was talking to Dennis's audience today on earlier, I was thinking about what you know, why are these things happening, and what control do we have over it? Well, we have the social contract, and we can simply say that we're no longer going to recognize unjust law. We're not going to recognize reasonable suspicion. I'm just not going to recognize it. You know that? I'm just not going to. I hope that someday I have a cop say I'm reasonably suspicious of you, so I can just go. I can just. My God. I can't even. Just put yourself in that position. The cop telling you, I'm reasonably suspicious of you. I'm reasonably suspicious of you right now. I'm reasonably suspicious of you. For what? Right? That you're stalking this house. Did you guys watch Jeff Gray's video? Oh, how you guys doing? Good to see everybody. Yeah, reach up and hit your like button. I'm supposed to say that, and like and comment and all that stuff. But that's not really why I did it. You know what I mean? There's a bigger purpose. There's a mission that has to be accomplished. And my OCD is just breaking down, you know, DUI checkpoints go away. There's no more DUI checkpoints after Terry. Terry versus Ohio is the stare decisis of the 1990 case of Sitz Michigan State Police. Sitz versus Michigan State Police is based on Terry versus Ohio. DUI checkpoints, they're gone. They can't stand anymore. There's no more DUI checkpoints because Terry versus Ohio falls. You know, and thank you, dude. I appreciate that. Thank you, Free Assange. Yeah, it just reinvigorates me, you know, understanding that you can be pulled over on a pretextual stop. Wren versus United States, 1996, which is the stare decisis of Wren is, of course, directly Terry versus Ohio. So then if you can be pulled over for nothing on a pretextual stop on the cop preconceiving an idea about you and your car so he can pretextually stop you and think that maybe you're a gang member or maybe you're part of a violent organization. How do we start to take on the idea that you can't pull me over for not using a blinker? You can't pull me over unless I cause some sort of interaction if we can't first stop the pretextual stop. Because we have to have the conversation and pretty soon, hey, cops, leave people alone unless they're just driving so erroneously they need to be pulled over. And mostly those are teenagers who drive like that, or someone late to work and who's just pushing it too hard, right? But this idea that we need, when I drive up and down the roads here in Arizona, there's a cop every 100 yards hiding in their SUV. That's what we need? Really? Really? Focus on that? You know, I mean, so no, we just have to get there. We have to get there together. You have to understand, we have to first take down the main Terry. We have to take Terry down, and then everything cascade. It's immediate overnight relief. Immediate overnight relief, like putting Novocaine on a cut. Immediately gone, no more pain. So that's where we have to get, you know, and so yeah. So anyway. I didn't even know what I was jumping on here for. I just wanted to make sure that the people coming over from Dennis's channel who've never seen this channel before understand something. That if you're coming over from the predominantly black channel that Dennis Sperling has, you have to infect your community and explain to the community what's going on. It's Terry. And now when I go on to YouTube here, and I don't know what my demographic is. I don't look at any of those things. I just keep on creating, right? And so I don't know what it is. I have no idea. I don't care. I don't care. It's an American thing, but it's ruined our country. It's ruined our country. It's ruined America. Terry versus Ohio has ruined America. You can't have fun because that makes you suspicious. What are you guys doing over here? Well, we're having fun. What's your name? What's my name? My name's Fun. Leave me alone. Is there a law being broken? No, there's no law being broken. I don't need you to investigate me because I'm having a good time with my friends. What are you doing? Is a woman being raped? Is there a victim somewhere bleeding? Is there sworn by oath or affirmation that something's gone wrong here? But yet your fun can be taken away because what are you doing? You're suspicious. Suspicious of what? If there was a crime that happened and a victim been created, the victim would have been with the cops saying, investigate him. You know, that's the truth. And so that's what people have to get focused on, is you have to end so as much as I don't like cops, right? At the same time, they're empowered by the Supreme Court. So the next generation is going to have to get them elected. You and I, though, can get the cops off us by Terry versus Ohio. Because once we change Terry, we change the police state apparatus, where everything's based on their safety. Everything on the police apparatus is based on police safety. Every single procedure of policing is based on their safety. It's based on their safety. It's their safety. It's their safety. For them. We have to change that. And then from there, use of force policy, Graham versus Connor, that use of force will be determined by the objectively reasonable officer on the scene. How can the officer who's in the scene, if you and I butt heads, we're subjects. We're subjects. Someone watching from over there is the objective observer, right? Because they're not involved. They're watching you and I have butt heads. That's a subjective thing. So Graham versus Connor says that the objectively reasonable officer will determine use of force on the scene. How can he be objective when he might be the exact focus of my scorn? You see? How can he be objective? How can an officer be objective when he's the subject in the scene? Graham versus Connor. But that, of course, premises off of Terry versus Ohio. That's all they talk about. Officer safety is paramount in Terry versus Ohio. So Graham versus Connor, of course, makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Of course it makes sense. Terry versus Ohio puts officer safety over everything. It's number one. That's it. And so Graham versus Connor, of course, officer safeties, when they interact with you, will be determined by the objectively reasonable officer on the scene. And then we get to Brinegar versus United States in 1949, where then the objectively reasonable officer on the scene, if he has reasonably trustworthy information that there's a crime going on in your house, he can just walk into your house. And this is 1949, Brinegar versus United States. So now where are we? So now, if a cop outside of your house believes in his mind that you're doing something bad, you can get popped. So where does Bridiger come from? Kerr, from Carroll versus United States, 1925. It's like, how do we have so many piss poor holdings? Because we have an unelected Supreme Court. That's how. Because we have an unelected Supreme Court. We talked about Atwater versus City of Lago Vista today, the 2001 case. You can be arrested for absolutely any infraction of the law. David Souter, the fifth vote of 5-4, votes with 4 conservatives to say that you can be arrested for any infraction of the law and it's not a violation of your Fourth Amendment. I talked to his audience today about Atwater versus City of Lago Vista, explaining that you can be arrested for spitting on the sidewalk if it's against the law. If there's a statute that makes it against the law to spit on the sidewalk in that city or county, then you could be arrested. And it's not a violation of your Fourth Amendment right because the officer did witness you break the law. He saw you do it. He's seen you, right? And then you literally are beholden to a person who has, why would you, and this is like, I'm wrestling with this in my head, right? Because I watch back, and I'm pretty rough on the cops, and I watch it back, and then I just always go back to like my base logics, which are what? Would I do that with my time? Is that what I would do with my time? Let me sign up to do this. Think about this, okay? For you to be a cop, God may God bless your soul, because it's not my position in this life to do that, right? If you decide to be a cop, then what you choose to do is go to get trained to put someone's hands behind their back and put them in handcuffs and take them to a dungeon. That's what you do. You know, that's all. That's the only difference between me and you, is you go to dungeon training school, you go to torture school, you go to a school where I pledge allegiance to this blue line, and that's all my it goes on my flag, it goes on my heart, it goes on my cup. It's like part of my identity is this blue line. That couldn't corrupt you at all, could it? And so I go back to the idea is I'm not being mean to you, dude. You went to executioner school, where you even learned how to make up words so that it would work in your favor. You could just scream, "Stop resisting," and then you could do whatever you wanted to someone, because then bystanders can hear you screaming, "Not stop resisting," so it must be someone resisting over there. And that goes in the report, just like Izzo said on the interview. And that goes in our report. All the bystanders said they heard "stop resisting." That's all the reports say. And so it's like, am I mean to those cops? I'm not an executioner with my camera and my rights and explaining that you signed up to violate my rights. That doesn't make me you. That makes me point you out. That if you're such a neat and tactful guy, then why don't you go into therapy or counseling or be a firefighter? Why did you choose to go to executioner training school and then literally carry out that execution daily by saying, "I'm suspicious of you," pissing someone off, and then because they don't know their rights, you take them to a dungeon? And I mean to you, if that cop the other day had walked up and said, "You're trespassed from the scene," and I had shown any ounce of weakness, he who knows? He might have told me, "You should get out of here." You know, who knows what they well, I've seen it on camera how they do. So, am I mean to these cops? And I thought about it, you know. But the truth is, you have to have taken the ride a few times. You have to have gone to the dungeon. You have to have been arrested, put in handcuffs and shackles and taken down to the dungeon, and then strip searched with 15 people looking up your backside and making comments. "Oh, you're a bodybuilder, huh? Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Look at this." You know, it's really sweet and appreciative when someone says, "Man, you're in great shape, dude." It's something positive. But when you're bent over naked in a room full of dudes and there's 10, 20 other guys in the room bent over naked, and there's like a roaming pack of hounds behind you, and they're saying shit about, "Oh, man, look at this guy. You think you're muscular guy? You think you're right? Yeah. Look at this guy, Kevin. He works out like you do." That's funny. Is that funny as I'm bent over naked? That's cute. And then the outright assaults on me. And this, I guess I'm going into jail guards, but they're the same. The sheriffs are, but the outright assaults on me when I was naked was just disgusting. Getting hit in the behind when I wasn't looking like this. It's just like, you know, I experienced that. That's real. Bent over naked, nut shot from behind, hand chop up. Straight down to the ground I go, bro. I didn't see it coming, didn't feel it coming. Boom! So that was a fake. That wasn't real. I'm just making that up for, you know, I just thought, let me make this up. Or was that very real because someone who signed up to be an executioner took me to that dungeon? What was that nut shot one for? I've been taking the dungeon 10 times. So which was the nut one though? When I got the nut shot. I think that's when I got no knock rated. I think that was the same one when I was no knock rated. I think that was the same one, which was just horrific. Really shocking because I had just had hemorrhoid surgery. I was 27 years old. And I had just had hemorrhoid surgery. Hemorrhoids run in your family. But when you're 27, before the surgery is what it is today, it's this horrifically bad, heinous thing that you have to go through. It's like having a baby. And when the cops came to my house, I was actually recovering from surgery. And the only thing that helped you recover from the surgery, from going to the bathroom, was getting in a hot bathtub. And that's how they curse stopped my first stop and kicked my. So it's like wait a minute. Let me ask you guys a question. Has raiding people's homes improved America? Has raiding people's houses improved? If you ever raided someone's house and you're a cop, may God have mercy on your soul for what you've done to people, for what you did. No, raiding someone's home, unless there's kidnapped children in there, and we confirm that, there's no reason to raid someone's home. Unless there's women in dungeons being by their hair and being forced to whatever, just disgusting, think of whatever you want. And we can confirm that. There's no need to raid someone's home. You've raided someone's house for drugs. You didn't help anything. The drug epidemic's never been worse. You didn't do a damn good a bit. Not one damn bit of good. You did no good. You raided for drugs and you got those people. And then they went to prison and you got a conviction. They're 20 years in prison and you did zero good to the community. You offered no value with your life by putting that guy in the dungeon for 20 years. The drug epidemic hasn't been ever worse in America. There's people in California doing drugs right there on the tent in the front lawn of my best friend's house. They just live right there. They do all the drugs they want right there in that tent. It's amazing. It's great. Right there. It's right there, right by his house. It's great. But you raided someone's house with your gun going in like you in Iraq, and you feel like you got a gigantic pair, bro. Man, we kicked that door down. Yeah, you're an organized paramilitary group raiding people for chemicals. And your existence of what you've done in life offered no value. So it's just like, am I mean to cops? If you've ever raided someone's house and you're a cop and you think my videos of me being mean to Officer Despain, think about what you've done, bro. No, really. You can hate me all you want. Think about what you did. You raided his house that time. Just think about that. We're not talking about kidnapped kids, right? You guys saw it. Listen to me. You know, LAPD. That you saw those cops. They grabbed that guy out of the plane and they drug him out of the plane, and then the train hit the plane. Did you guys see that? And it was like the body cam footage of the decade for the LAPD, right? And let me tell you something amazing, dude. The guys who drug him out of the plane. I hope a camera doesn't follow you for the rest of your career. You did a great job by saving that guy. Kudos to you, man. That shot was epic, dude. Congratulations for the guy who's dragging the guy out of the plane that was a hero. That was awesome, dude. It was awesome. Are you a cop? Can we watch what you do for the rest of your career with your power and your fame? Can we watch what happens to you? Can we have a camera on everything you do forever? Especially while you carry a gun and a stick and a taser and a badge. Can we just have a camera on you? Can we just watch everything you do? Because the guy the LAPD officer who drugged that guy out of the plane, you're going to be famous within your industry, brother. You're going to be, congratulations, dude. I hope you're as good of a soul as the soul that you saved, right? I hope as good as a human being as the person you drug out of that plane. And thank you for what you did for that guy. And it's provided a moment of celebration in a city that's broken by horrifically bad leadership. So congratulations, bro. You gonna arrest people still? You gonna put people in handcuffs, bro? You still gonna arrest people after you save? I mean, you still gonna shackle people? You guys saw what happened when I put my cousin Tawny in handcuffs. She was in pain immediately. Did you see her face the very first second I clacked those handcuffs on Tawny's face on the handcuff video? Did you see her face? The very first second that I clacked the shackles on Tawny, she'd never been put in cuffs. So the hero from LAPD, man, saved that guy on that plane. The couple guys running out of the shot, amazing shot. Are you guys still gonna arrest people? Are you gonna advance into SWAT? Are you gonna go into the SWAT team? How many people think we need a SWAT team running around shooting people? Because, you know, from all the video, I watched this show, what's it called? The Last Kingdom. I love it. I think they're making another episode, or The Last Castle, or The Last Kingdom, with the Vikings and Utna. What's his name? What's his name? What's the guy's name? Okay. We could do sieges to people. We could siege people. You don't have to really go out, and it's just like, we just have, I couldn't imagine signing up to do that job. That's all, I'm trying to figure out a way in which it would be appealing to me. There's just, I could never sign up to do that. So anyway, I know a lot of my videos, I just kind of was like, I just wanted to get to this bigger conversation, that I wasn't being mean to that cop. What that cop does and what police do and the process they follow, and they know as well as you and I do that when they arrest you and take you to that dungeon, that once inside the dungeon, anything can happen to you. And Johnson versus Glick, 1980, the 1980 case of Johnson versus Glick, makes it so that you can't file a 1983 if the guard just puts on the form that your skull got cracked. He was just keeping order. And according to the Johnson versus Glick ruling of 1980, it says that if the guards are just keeping order in the facility of people who are not really that good of people, it says that in the holding. You're talking about a group of people who aren't necessarily, that good of people. It's something horrific like that. That the idea that if you go to jail, then there must be something. You must be kind of bad. You must be kind of a bad person. You must be a little bit of a bad person. That's the judge's slant in the opinions written in Johnson versus Glick. Read the opinion. It's just go to justia.org and just read the opinion of Johnson versus Glick, and you tell me if they don't specifically label people who are in jail are bad or disagreeable, or so they put it in some exact context. So don't let me misquote it. You'll find out really quickly that if you get put in the dungeon, then you are automatically in the bad category. So anyway, so if you do get put in the dungeon, Johnson Glick says that if the guards are just keeping order and your skull gets cracked in the process of keeping order, for you to file a 1983 lawsuit, it's gonna be tough. Going to be tough. Think about it. In all the years of people in prison right now, right this minute, right? How many, we've had millions of people in prison now for years, right? How many times do you hear of a case where the guard gets sued for violating someone's civil rights in prison? How many cases do you hear about that now? Zero. Anybody write in the comments. Tell me the last case you heard of an inmate getting justice through the federal district court system. Just put it right in the comment. Put it right in there. If anybody knows any cases, right? And I think the last one I can go to is going to be Pape versus, it's going to be Pape from 2003. The Pape case from 2003. Pape from 2003. That's the case. It's you guys know I hate it when I don't just so there's Neanderthal, right? But it's the Pape case out of Alabama when he sued for civil rights being violated for being handcuffed, shackled to a beam that would then turn to 100 degrees and it would burn his hands. What case was that? Was that the Pape case? It's P-A-P-E. It's going to be a 2003 case out of Alabama that goes to the Supreme Court. Yeah. But the reason why you never hear of a 1983 anymore coming out of prison is because, and by the way, I don't think that in the Pape case that the guard was. They ruled that the guard didn't have qualified immunity. That the guard did have qualified immunity in the Pape case. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. They. I'll post it in the comments because my OCD is going to bug me. So I'll put it in the comments for you guys. But yeah. So listen. While there's 115, 120 people in the room, it's good to see you guys. I mean, thank you for coming. I'm sorry I don't read comments very often. I just try to, because otherwise I get really off focus, and I can't let a troll or someone pull me out of what I actually wanted to say, so that's it's super important. But I wanted everybody to understand about it's about Terry. If you are Gen Z, if you are a Gen Xer, if you're a millennial, if you're a boomer, you and I have to bring Terry versus Ohio to the ground. That should be your absolute, and you should correct anybody that says anything other when it comes to criminal justice reform other than it's Terry versus Ohio first. And that should be our mantra. Like Trump was America first, like Joe Biden is pushing a global mandate, right? Okay. Like Trudeau has turned into a terrorist in Canada, right? Like Germany is now Nazi Germany again. Yeah. Like Austria is absolutely destroyed with authoritarianism. Yeah. Right? The facts. Every time someone talks about criminal justice reform, you have to steer them to Terry versus Ohio. That has to, if that doesn't become a national conversation, then we failed. Our lives are, it's the biggest, well, listen, if you care about freedom and liberty and justice, there has to be a starting point for success, an actionable plan. Like I said, a platform, you can't say you have a platform, social media people, you don't say you have a platform. You have a platform if you have a set of agendas on the platform, and then each agenda has an action plan to become successful. That's what a platform is. Or you don't have a platform. You're just popular, or you're good looking, or you work out a lot, or you have a perspective, right? Interesting. A platform has a set of agendas to accomplish. You see, that's what a platform is. So that's what a platform is not, here's my platform because I have 100,000 followers. What's your set of agendas and what's the action plan to accomplish those things? So, if you guys have been by my website, you've seen it's the history of institutional racism defined on a timeline, because that's what I grafted. That's what was on my wall in my office in West Hollywood. That's just the simple facts. If you guys haven't noticed, I have a ton of conservative ideals: Second Amendment, strong borders, America. I love the country. Like, you see what I'm saying? So, but the reason I put all those laws on the board is because I wanted people to understand that we allowed our rights to our grandfathers and great grandfathers. My family's been here since we came over, and we were part of the Revolutionary War. My family has been here. My lineage goes all the way back to the Santa Maria, to the Santa Fe or Santa Maria, I can't remember. Anyway, one of the three vessels coming over was my great grandma, right? On that boat. I got a family crest. It's dope. I have a family crest. So, and every single one of my grandfathers has fought in the war here. we fought in the Revolutionary War. We fought in World War II. My grandfather fought in World War One. My uncle Larry fought in Vietnam. Fought in the Korean War. Like, so it's like when you have a long lineage of a military family that served in this country and went and fought in those wars, and then you go, well, what were the wars fight about? I didn't join because we were in Iraq Desert Storm when I graduated high school, and I didn't join because I didn't want to go fight for an oil war, and I was not into it. You know, the World War One, World War II was some pretty gnarly stuff that we were fighting for freedom. We were fighting for freedom. And in that case, being the A personality I am, I certainly would have signed up if it was for freedom. 100%, you know, because that's just the way it is. Pate versus Monroe, 1961. Thank you, dude. But that's the wrong case. That's the correct case. Pate versus Monroe, 1961. That case is disgusting. Does anybody know what Pate versus Monroe is? Pate versus Monroe is the case where in 1958, the 15 cops went into the guy's house, a black guy's house, of course, and they strip searched him and his wife in front of their 6 children in their, it's just a disgusting case. It's a disgusting case. So, and that case was also for qualified immunity. Yeah, we should start a petition for overturning Terry versus Ohio. That's a good idea. Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's just create it, and every single time I'll have everybody here. Every time I go on YouTube, I will have someone sign the petition. Someone new. We will start a petition. Let's just do it. Let's just start. Whew. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good talk today. It was a nice talk with Larry, with Dennis Sperling. You guys make sure you go over to Dennis Sperling's channel, subscribe to his channel. He has a black perspective. He's a Houston lawyer. Obviously he deeply cares about the black culture and the black community. His talks, he might be a Houston lawyer, but he's not just a Houston lawyer. Dennis Sperling also talks about black issues, about leadership in black men, he talks about a wider range spectrum of things, but obviously I'm not black, so I can't really talk about, that. But his channel is great. I did watch several of his videos before I went on to his live, and that was today. So you guys can go over and check out that show, Dennis Sperling. I did a 2.5-hour interview today, just kind of familiarizing his viewership with Terry versus Ohio. Just trying to infect it. It's SPURLING. Yeah, SWAT's absolute garbage. Absolute garbage. You need a SWAT team. Listen, you guys saw the other day they killed the guy who took the hostages that tried to kill the Jewish people, which is just, when is this just going to stop against Jewish people? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It just drives me crazy. It's like you just don't understand the Jewish struggle through the history of time. And listen, you are not in a position to get into the commentary of what's going on in the Middle East when we have enough of our own problems right here. You and I bitching about what's going on between Israel and that, it sucks, right? If you're from a long distance looking over, it sucks, right? You and I are not there. We're not involved in that. We can't even get the police off our backs here. And you're going to fight for Israel. You're going to fight for Palestine. Like, what are you talking about? We need to bring our guys home, stop being such world police, invest in our environment, get our oceans clear. We have to focus on what's important, and we're not. We're this authoritarian police state, prison state that it seems like most of society just enjoys. Like we know what's going on and we continue it. It just drives me absolutely crazy. And I'll tell you what, this is just my life, and this is what I'm going to do with my life. But I don't stop until Terry falls. And there's a handful of people who are right there with me. And you know what? If you're one of those people, amazing. We don't stop until Terry falls, no matter what. I'll be sitting there when the legislation is signed, because I think it's going to have to be legislation that says reasonable suspicion is and officer safety over your rights is not more important than your civil rights. I'll be there when that happens. The kid watching this, you're going to be the one that gets the Supreme Court electable. That'll be you, dude. Congrats. Change the world. So, these are the things that have to happen. They have to happen. They have to happen. So anyway, that was just my OCD was in full effect after getting off Dennis's show and actually teaching, just going back, because remember, his audience has never met me. They've never seen the timeline that I created. They have no idea who I am, what I'm going to talk about at all. And then just to lay that out again, you know, kind of the inception of how your rights were completely and utterly eroded in 1968 down to zero, where I have to treat cops how I treat them now because they can literally just run roughshod over me because of terror. I have to pull up my shirt and show them that I don't have any weapons just so they can't grab me and throw me in handcuffs immediately. And we all saw with Cousin Tawny how absolutely freaking painful handcuffs are within 2 seconds. 2 seconds. She was in pain in 2 seconds flat. Did you see her? Did you see her face? Watch that video. I put a shorter version up there if you guys want to watch it. But 10 minutes of Tawny in cuffs. Go watch her face. Go look at Tawny's face. The very second I clamped the gloves on, the bracelets they call them. They call them bracelets. Cops call them bracelets. I slapped the bracelets on her. Oh, you did? You mean the most painful thing you can do to someone without physically torturing them yourself? It's absolute torture from the moment you're put in the torture cuffs. I put it, you guys go look at Tawny's video. Just go to the 15-minute one and then just get past me bloviating for 2 minutes and then get right to where I put Tawny in cuffs and just watch her face from the very moment the cuffs are put on her. And then go back to that dog video with the doctor. And when the paramedic gets there, the doctor says, what hurts the most? He says, my wrists do. He just was savagely attacked by a dog. I think his leg, I think his brain told his leg to stop hurting, but the way that dog tore him apart was horrifically disgusting, right? But what did he say when the paramedic got there? My handcuffs hurt the most. Get these cuffs off me. It's torture. When you're put in handcuffs, it is literally slow torture, especially because I mean, you guys, it is what it is. I mean, I've been just an avid weightlifter and a fighter and a wrestler. My whole life, no matter what, I look how I look, right? The truth to that also is that if you take my wrists and you stick them behind my back and clamp them at my wrists, where cuffs do, I'm going to be in excruciating pain immediately. It's going to take less than 2, 1. Okay, dude, this is uncomfortable for my shoulders. And then pretty soon it's going to be excruciating. Because if you work out a lot, sometimes you get bone spurs at the tips of your shoulders. You can get surgery to get them out, or you can just not put your shoulders in some horrifically awkward position where you're going to feel the bone spur in the tip of your shoulder. It's very typical in guys who do a lot of weights, who lift a lot of weights. So within like 5 minutes, I'm in like excruciating pain. And as soon as that happened to me a few times, I developed a real dislike for the people who put me in those painful cuffs. And then as I started to talk to people through time, I started to find out from other people that, man, dude, those cuffs really hurt. And then Jeff Lloyd, the guy who funded my whole venture, that's just the angel in the night that helped me set up everything, right? He told me the story of the time he was put in cuffs and his hands almost fell off because he told the cop, he gave him the Jeff Lloyd treatment, and the cops put him in handcuffs as tight as they could possibly put him on, and he almost lost his hands. And he told the cop, he said, when my hands fall off, I'm going to beat you with the stumps of my hands, of my arms. That's what he told him. So it's like, now we understand that, and what does Terry do? Terry equals immediate detainment unless you're a constitutional law scholar and you can school that cop. If the cop has any fear of you because you don't articulate well or you don't know the laws off the top of your head as you're under pressure from a cop with a gun and a stick and a dog that might attack you, whether he sends the dog or not, you might just falter your words. Can you imagine that for a moment? That under fear and real duress, that you're intimidated, your heart is racing because this guy's intimidating. This is what he does for a living. What he does for a living is he pulls up to people and he wants to, his dominance. You guys saw that cop, that Tempe cop, immediately he's trying to tell me this is my stop. No, it's not your stop. This is my freedom and I'm free to move freely. I've agreed, I'm detained, I'm not going anywhere. But that doesn't mean you get to control where I sit and where I stand and how I breathe and where I move. You don't get to control my movement. You're a cop. Am I on camera right now? I'm on body cam. But hey, you know what? This is a good one. Let's try this one. Auditors, people who get pulled over by the cops. When you're standing in front of the cop, when you're standing right in front of that cop, and you say, officer, is your body cam on? And he goes, yeah. And you go, okay, cool. You look down at the camera, you go, hey, listen, I agree, I'm detained, but my freedom of movement is not. I'm not going to attack you. You got my face on camera, don't you, officer? Yes, I do. Great. So then I'm putting my whole reputation on the line that I'm not going to attack you. Now that my face is right on your body camera, I'm going to say that you can't put your hands on me because I've just self-detained in front of your camera. You have my ID in your car. You've got guns on your person. So now you're not going to restrict my freedom of movement. How's that? Do we agree on that now? Because my face is in your body camera. You don't have a right to tell me where to stand, where to sit, where to be, how to talk, how to walk. I'll tell you to go take your mother for a duck walk. I'm just trying to keep it clean, guys, right? That's what I'll do. I'll tell you that. And if you don't like that, well then I don't care. It's my freedom. You don't control my movement of every space I am. I'm not an armed, listen, I'm not 19. I'm not new around here. I don't, the idea that all of us are armed and dangerous is based on Terry versus Ohio. That officer safety is first, and so they train the cops that you're a horrifically bad person who can't be trusted. That little old lady from Nantucket, you thought she was sweet till she shot you in the back of the head. Beast, make sure you look through her car too. Don't trust that chick either. Your life is on the line. That's what they're taught. That's what they're taught. That's what they're taught. People always say more training. No, new third party. New third party. Films everything they do. They have to run warrants through the new third party because we don't need that many warrants. We don't need cops chasing you down for you not going to jail without sending the guy a text message. Why isn't there a simple text message system from the courthouse? You missed your court date. You're gonna go to jail, dude. Come back down to the court. Why isn't there that? Why isn't there that? You missed your court date. The next day, you get a text message because they got your phone number and it says, yo, Tim, you missed your court date, dude. There's a warrant for your arrest. Get to court. Get to court. You take your happy ass down to court because you're not afraid you're going to go to a dungeon, and the judge goes, man, you fucked up. And then you get face whatever you're facing. You don't need to go to a dungeon because you missed court. You don't need to go to dungeon. They don't need to take you to a dungeon. He missed court. Take him to the dungeon. No, that doesn't need to happen. Why? We're going to send you a text message. Dude, you missed court. You tell me the court doesn't have your number? Bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. But the court has your number. The court has your phone number. Yeah, they do. They do. They sure do. And they can simply send you a text message. Dude, you missed court. You want to get your butt in here? How about Tuesday at 2 o'clock? And by the way, if you miss it this time, man, we might even send someone after you. You better get it. And then and then they just send you a text message, dude, you're going to go to jail. Every day you get this text, dude, you missed court. You're going to go to jail. Los Angeles County Courthouse, please appear. Please come now. And the judge and they're not some superior emperor who's missing, you didn't come by a judge's order. You missed a court date. The judge missed you. Who are you, dude? You're a dude doing a job. I shouldn't have to be sent to a dungeon because I missed my court date. Cop pulls you over. Dude, you missed your court date. Shit. You got to go to court right now, man. Or you got to go to the dungeon. Shit. Okay. I'll go to court right now. Oh, you're not? No, listen. Oh, dude, it's the middle of the night. I'll be here. I'll be where you are at 8 a.m. We're going to meet. You're going to go to court in the morning. You're going to, whatever you're doing. Okay, dude. Okay, man. I got it. So then when you go home that night after being pulled over from not going to court, cop pulled you over. Cop says, man, then the cops are doing a service. You're going to court the next day. If you're not, the cop's going to come and arrest you, dude. Wow. And then we talked about this when I put Cousin Tawny in handcuffs. If the cops got there and you or me and you're a regular human being, but you didn't pay your court, you didn't go to court, and the cop gets you and you're on body cam and he says, all right, man, you didn't go to court, so there's a warrant. But if you look at my camera right here and you say, hey, I'll go to court, Tomorrow, I'll drop everything. I'll head straight to the courthouse. Then you're not, otherwise, the next time we see you, you're going to get arrested. And then if you do get arrested, say that you get that court date and your wife has a baby that day, wink, whatever the reason you missed your court date. Then when the next time the cops come to arrest you, if you're going to get arrested, the cop says, okay, you have to come with me now. You're on body cam. Do you want to come with me, or do you want me to put you in shackles first, and then you're going to come with me? Because you already got out of missing court the first time, right? You already got out of missing court the first time. And so then the second time you run into the cop says, okay, dude, listen, we see on record that you were already told that you missed your court date. And then the next day, the judge said, that you were good from 8 a.m. till 4 p.m. and then you didn't go again. So now here's the choice you have for doing that. You can either come with me down to the courthouse where you're gonna see the judge, or option B, I can put you in these painful shackles, shackle your hands behind your back and treat you like you're a rabid dog. And then you're going to come down and meet with the judge either way. What do you want to do? You're on camera, by the way. You're on camera. Oh, shit. I did miss that second one, didn't I? Let me tell you something. I was at this party and I get it. I got to go. Hey, Tina, listen, I'm going to jail. I'm not going to, I gotta go down, right? So then the cop's like, let's go, dude. And like, look at me. I'm a man, I'm a full grown man. So now like I'm on camera, and now as I'm going down to the jail, now I'm gonna tweak and decide to try to kill the cop, right? That's the idea? And that's why we gotta put you in shackles and treat you like you're a demon. And did you see what they did to that doctor when they had him on the ground in cuffs? He's like, man, okay, the doctor says, okay, listen, I'm no longer a threat to you guys. Let me out of these cuffs. And he goes, nope, you're under arrest. Like in the cop's mind, he's equated that if you're under arrest, you should be put in painful handcuffs. The doctor was in pain immediately. Okay, I'm no threat to you guys. Take me out of the cuffs, right? They're hurting. That's pretty much what he was saying. He didn't add they're hurting, but that's what he said. But that starts with Terry versus Ohio. Detainment is immediate handcuffs. Detainment is immediate handcuffs. Immediate handcuffs with Terry versus Ohio, unless you can immediately explain to the cop why you're not going on handcuffs, and then be willing to pull your shirt up and show him that you don't have any weapons to alleviate his officer safety policy, then you might be heading to the dungeon. You're going to be tortured for sure. You're going to be put in those cuffs immediately, especially if you're black or you're an essay and you got like the handlebar mustache, and you look badass. Like I had a buddy that I knew back in Oregon. He looked like such a badass, right? Nicest, kindest, most gentlest guy you ever knew. Rode a Harley, but he was Mexican. He had the big, right? And he got pulled over and he went through it, getting detained, telling me about it, So it's like that's once you get detained, you understand what I'm talking about. Especially if you're one of those people that has like trained your whole life. My nephew right now, just so you know, my nephew's 5 years old. He's fourth in state. Just took fourth in state. So I'm super proud of him. But I'm from this family of wrestlers. We go back, grapplers, all the way back. So it's just when you hurt me and put me in shackles and dominate me, and you didn't earn that. You hear the heck in me come out. You didn't earn that, young man. You didn't hold that man down on your own. You're wrong about the slave matter. What? I'm right about the slave master little hats. You're wrong about the slave master little hats, but you're right about most everything else. You know what? I'm just going to hear that I was right about most everything else. And by the way, I hope I'm wrong about some things. I hope that I'm wrong and that you guys educate me and be like, no, dude, you're wrong on this point right here. See this point right here? You're wrong right there. Yeah, that's what I like the most. So if you guys see something, you guys should just be like, oh, you're incorrect on this one right there. But he said I was mostly good on everything else. So I'm not going to, thanks, appreciate it. I'm just going to take that and be like, I'm grateful. Someone said something nice. You guys see that girl on this girl made a song. She was on America's Got Talent or whatever, that Simon Cowell show. And she made a song of all of the hate comments she got from YouTube. And she's brilliant. This chick is brilliant. Her voice is beautiful. and her personality is bubbly and lovable. And the hate comments she got from her singing channel on YouTube, she made a song using the exact terms. You know, I think the funniest one was, I unsubscribed. I unsubscribed. It's like, oh, not that. Like, you know, it does suck though. It does suck. I was deplatformed on TikTok, you know, called a racist. But, you know, it's true. I was deplatformed. So I lost 300,000 followers. That was pretty tough. That was pretty tough. Yeah. So, you know, I do understand if people unsubscribed from you in mass and said that, you know, you were bad, then that would definitely hurt. Anyway, you don't need any education to be a cop. You can just bleh, just say whatever you want. You can make $100,000 a year, baby. You're getting a pension. So let me call some people. What's going on, Porfino? Alex, what's going on, dude? Free Assange, what's going on, my friend? Good to see you. T. Roy, I thought was in here earlier. Good to see you, T. Roy. JJ, what's up, Playboy? Bob, what's going on, dude? Good to see you guys. I'll just say hello to a few people real quick. I'll scroll back to these comments and just say hello to some people. What is going on? Lulu, Libby, Pro Bono. What's up, Pro Bono? What's up, Playboy? Archangel for Truth, Lord 7GM. What's up, dog? Dr. Sean Barry's in the house. Good to see you, Dr. Sean. Once I come in and get going, Matt, what's going on? Good to see you. Donald, Josh C's in the house. What's up, Josh? Good to see you, brother. You guys, anybody, and by the way, if anybody ever contacts me, always give me your email address. If you ever in any way, shape, or form contact me in any way, whether you sent me a Cash App or whether you sent me a text message, or I don't care how you contacted me, I immediately want your email address so I can send you some stuff. Boom, I send it right away now. I just do it now. As soon as I get the email that someone wants some stuff or they want to read some stuff, boom, I just send it right off. No delay. It's the best way. It's the best way, because then you don't get bogged down. You just copy paste their email, boom, send them some stuff so they have some literature, so they read the Mullen Commission. So you read the Mullen, so you read it. You can watch my hour-long video about the Mullen Commission, but you need to read it. You need to read it so you understand me, so you understand why I'm so that way with these guys, right? Read the Mullen, read it. So, you know, anyway. Oh, you guys having a conversation about slaves over here? That's terrible. That's terrible. You know, I mean, can you guys just you know, look, whether it's the American history of slavery, or, you know, slavery throughout the Ivory Coast, or slavery, you know, remember that the Moors instituted slavery over the Spanish, and they took over the Spanish peninsula. They took it over, and they instituted slavery. And the whole story of Black Pete is based on, it's not racist at all. It's based on myth. It's based on mythology. I can go into a long understanding of this thing. I don't want to unpack it all the way, but what I'm trying to get to is that I forgot. I forgot. It doesn't matter. Just let it go. I can't remember. Oh, you guys are talking about racism. And we started about, so the whole point, though, about when you start talking about slavery, I'm glad I found that. I remembered. Is like the fact that we ever had it here is why our country is in such shambles now. I had a discussion with a woman the other day, and I ended up reading the Moral Tariff Act, MORRILL, the Moral Tariff Act of 1858. It could have been 1860. I'm sorry, is it 1860, 1861? The Moral Tariff Act about slavery and the Civil War and why the Civil War happened. Because when someone gives me a piece of information, then I just go into it. You know, okay, if I'm incorrect, then show me. And the Moral Tariff Act, just so you know, is a large, you know, getting taxed 95%. You know, you might want to be willing to get away from that particular kind of government. I mean, the taxes are 95%. I don't know if I want to be a part of your new America system over there. I want to guess, yeah, I'm gonna, right? So you do. I mean, sure, she has a point. You know, that's if you get taxed 95%, and then, you know, I'm making most of the money I'm making through slavery anyway. So yeah, the two go together like hand in hand. But the whole fact that we had slavery here, and then whether or not it was the Moral Tax Act, which you guys can look up and read, or whether or not it was just purely based on slavery and the freedom of black people, which is what I think it was mostly based on, that from reading Harriet Beecher Stowe's book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, that came out in 1852. Harriet Beecher Stowe's book, Uncle Tom's Cabin. If you read that book, 1858, was it 1855? God bless it. Anyway, Harriet Beecher Stowe's book, Uncle Tom's Cabin, that book right there, what that did is that shed a light into what was going on in the slave states to slaves, what was happening to them, literally what was happening to them. And so that insight life from Uncle Tom's Cabin by Harriet Beecher Stowe, whatever year it is, was it 1862? Okay, the Moral Act was 1862, thank you. And then whatever year that Harriet Beecher Stowe's book came out, I believe it was 1852, I'm pretty sure Harriet Beecher Stowe's book was 1852. God bless it, I hate it when I can't remember. But it's not that I can't remember, it's numbers. It's particular numbers because I have dyslexia. And so it's easy when you have dyslexia if you switch letters, if I put like that. Like I think on that video that I made with Tawny and Cuffs, I put sustained and I misspelled sustained. I just flipped the two letters. That's what you do when you're dyslexic. But when it's numbers that your brain does that, it's a very difficult thing to overcome. It really, like one time I said the Louisiana Purchase was in 1830. Obviously it was in 1803. But when I watched the video back, I said 1830, and I was like, I know what my brain saw and said, but I blew it because I know. So that's just the way it is. That's how it works. So Harriet Beecher Stowe's book is 18. Can we put the damn answer up there, pretty please? Put them right in the comments. I'm dying. I think it was 1852. 1852. Final answer. Final answer. What is it? What is it? Someone tell me the answer. Harriet Beecher Stowe. I'm dying to know. It's Harriet Beecher Stowe, and I'm going to say 1852. I'm not going to move on until we know the answer because my OCD is just racking, and this is the only computer I have in front of me, the one I'm talking on. So someone's in 1866. Is that what it is? No, her book would have come out before the Civil War. Her book would have came out in 1852, I think. Boom! What's up, Playboy? Huh? What's up? That's how you come marching in after saying you had dyslexia and all that shit you were making up. Good excuses, you little punk ass, right? Either that or you're just not that smart, are you? Okay, I'm not. I'm just a regular old dude, you know? Anyway, 1852. I had it correct. Anyway, I've lost the light. Let me, if I can come over here, but I better get out of here. I'm at my cousin's. I was going to have dinner with them tonight because I've just been working constantly. I've literally been just working constantly, like around the clock, like just pumping out new content so that people understand to focus on Terry versus Ohio, to focus on Terry versus Ohio, to infect your friends, to infect your family, to be annoying about it, that Terry has to go. That's how a cult begins, a cult-like following. We have to create a cult-like following about overturning Terry. And I don't care if you don't even like me. You're like, that guy's a total butthole. Great. You learned from a butthole. It was Terry versus Ohio. And so that's where we have to get. That's where we have to get. We have to get there. Or. DUI checkpoints are now driver's license checkpoints. And now they have checkpoints off the border of Arizona, 30 miles in. 30 miles in. If you really wanted to do something about that border, my friend, it wouldn't be 30 miles in, now would it? Now would it? Would it? If I have 30 miles to make a decision before I know there's going to be just some random little hut set up on a road, and you think you're solving the immigration problem like that by harassing people like that? If you want to put the resources at the border, I respect that. I want a strong border. I think people should have to go through an immigration process. I'm all for it. 100,000%. And I have friends in LA who are not here on a legal status. I still think they should go through the process and they should be able to apply, and there should be right? That's, you know what I'm saying? If you really cared, you wouldn't have a border point 30 miles in, dude. Okay, you wouldn't. You don't care about that. You care about being able to monitor and control people that are going along the road, and that is not an American standard. That is not liberty. Anyway, I didn't bring a light outside, guys, so I'll let you go. I'm sorry, I can't really see, but to the people that came by, thanks a lot. A few people bought posters this week, man. I'm super grateful. Thanks for buying posters and ebooks. Some people actually text me, hey, is this your contact? One guy texted me, I'm sorry if I can't remember who the name was, but one guy contacted me and said, hey, Chile, do you have the posters and the ebooks? And I said, yeah, they're online. I said, what's your email? I'll send them to you for free. And he said, nope, I'm just gonna buy them. And he texted me back and said, I just bought them. And I just want to say thanks to that person. You know, I appreciate you. I might lose audio here while because I put a call to silent. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Thanks guys. Thanks for the kind words. And people who bought the posters and ebooks, I just want to say thanks, because, you know, when you sell 10 or 15 posters or ebooks, man, it's awesome. It's awesome. It makes it, so I just keep on. And by the way, I'll have an update for you in about 2 days about TAC, about TAC. 2 days I'll have an update on TAC. As a matter of fact, that was the guy calling right now, Jordan Jackson, who's actually building the TAC. So I should probably jump and talk to him. But I just want to say thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate your support. We don't stop. Remember, it's Terry. Tell your friends. All right, I'll get out of here. I can't see the words anymore anyway, so I just want to say goodbye. All right, thanks for coming. I'll talk to you soon. Okay.